Hello. Okay, well, I decided with the suggestion of my friend Deep Blue, Mr. Danny Boy, that I will start each little vloggy pog with a Star Trek homage. So, Sarah Jean's log, day 9,150 of flying through space in this body. Fun fact, okay, minimize that. Fun fact about that, so I just Googled how many days have I been alive, and of course what is it, beatcanvas.com, it's like a days been alive calculator or something. You type in your birthday and it shows you the top 10 most recent searches, so you're at the top and then the ones immediately previous to you. What's really weird is that number 9 and 10 are, my birthday is 7/2/1990, and number 9 and 10 are 7/7/1990, and again 7/7/1990. So I guess the same person entered in twice, or two twins on opposite sides of the world, because that's possible. Okay, I'm gonna minimize you, birthday calendar. Okay, so if I look cracked out, that's because I am. I had, my friend Leah came last night she's from Southeast Kansas, and I don't get to see her a lot. And we had a little slumber party, and then immediately went to the Merc for breakfast, and then I've been on the go ever since. Yeah, and so she left, she had to go. And so yesterday, this is what I want this whole vlog to be about, because this has been my entire day, honestly. So yesterday, I was thinking about the multiverse, which I always do. It's the number one thing to think about, duh. And I was just thinking about the beauty of the name, multiverse. And I wondered why, only a few times when, I thought we were just living in a universe, did I think verse of a song. It kind of put it together, but now multiverse, multiple verses. And then I thought ooh, cool. Okay, so if this is the multiverse and each little is its own universe, right? What if each universe in the multiverse had its own song? It was its own verse, right? And then it's well, how can it be a song? And then I'm well, what if each universe has its own frequency? Each universe has its own frequency. So one universe is buzzing at 400 hertz. Another universe is buzzing at 600 hertz. Another universe is buzzing at 40 hertz, and so on. And then I thought, okay, well, what if all the universes were buzzing at these different, on these different wavelengths with these different periods between each cycle or whatever, but they all had to equal a certain number? What if it's kind of pH balancing, right? So you have your alkaline and acidity, and it all has to balance out to 7, right? By getting more alkaline or more acidic. So what if one universe, its frequency changed for whatever reason, it either went up or down. So another universe somewhere had to change its frequency to compensate. And I'm well, how would it change its frequency? I'm well, probably has something to do with radiation if we're talking frequency, if we're talking electromagnetic spectrum. So why not supernovas and black holes? So supernovas, boom, a star explodes, right? But the black hole it leaves behind doesn't really weigh that much. A black hole caused by a supernova only weighs twice what our sun weighs, which really isn't that heavy. So a supermassive black hole, that's a different story. But a stellar mass black hole, that wouldn't weigh a lot. So there would have to be an imbalance in the amount of stars exploding to black holes, which is good. I'd rather more stars explode than black holes. But then I thought, okay, so all these, and mind you, okay, I'm not pretending to be like an uber scientist, okay? Like, I know I don't know shit, and I know I've only taken like a decent amount of science classes, but honestly, whatever. So this is just kind of all like falling out of my mind, and I'm like researching accordingly, right? Digging up stuff I've learned in the past. So like, don't take me too seriously, but kind of take me seriously, because this shit might be real. Okay, so that qualifier being said, where was I? Fucking universe is buzzing at. Okay. So I'm like, what do I think would be the frequency, the 7, if you will, of the multiverse, that like the multiverse had to stay at? And I initially thought like, probably has something to do with the golden ratio, because fucking everything has something to do with the golden ratio. And then I was like trying to Google like meanings of frequencies, blah, 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 and it just kept getting like shitty thing. I'm annoyed. And so I just like Googled the one frequency that I know means something and is important. That's 528 hertz. And that's like, I listened to that, just like YouTube 528 hertz, and you can like listen to it and it just makes you feel good and blah, blah, blah. So it's linked to DNA regeneration. It's linked to healing shit, blah, blah, blah. I think it was even, solfeggio frequencies. It's like the culmination of the solfeggio frequencies. And it's been ancient, very civilized civilization. So like ancient advanced civilizations, their shaman or medicine men and women would use that frequency to heal people. I don't know how the hell they got that buzzing though. Like bowls maybe? Like anyway, what I'm trying to say is, so 528 hertz, it's like the love frequency, right? And so I just Googled that. I'm like, 528 hertz, that's like the frequency that I love. Let's like Google that shit. Well, I did not know that it is what did it's it's essential to pi, phi, and the golden ratio. So I'm like, oh, holy shit, like that's what am I getting an alfalfa sprout? You can see in the little reflection of the, anyway, so 528 hertz, the love frequency, and it's part of the golden ratio, which is like what I had thought initially, like it probably had, and then, like if you want to get like buddy with old Pythagoras, then like 528, so 5 plus 2 plus 8 equals 15, 1 plus 5 equals 6, and 6 is like one of those magic numbers that like visually is like spiraling down from heaven, blah, 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 blah. So that's cool. And then the thing that I still am kind of like unsure about is like how the universes would alter their frequency. Like I'm not totally sold on like supernovas and black holes. Like I'm not totally sold on that, but it would have to be two ends of a spectrum that are oppositional but intrinsically connected. So like I'm talking 0 and infinity kind of stuff, right? 0 and infinity. Like so we have black holes and supernovas. And like a black hole, no matter or radiation can escape. So what would be the opposite of that? Something that releases matter and radiation. Doesn't create it, but releases it. Like, hey, you were in prison, here's a key, right? And I think that's what a supernova is. But then again, I really haven't taken an astronomy class, so I'm not sure. It's all just me like nerding out. Oh, right. Okay, so then this is my favorite part. So wormholes, like Einstein-Rosen bridges. So Einstein-Rosen bridges came about during, the theory of relativity, general relativity. And Einstein and Nathan Rosen, I think, they were like, dude, this is real. This is fucking real. We haven't found any yet, but like, we got a lot more space to cover, right? Space to cover. So like, why not, right? Why not? But here's what I think. So like, they're not exactly sure, of course, how a wormhole would work. It's mainly just like, oh, you got some space time here, let me fold it for you and poke a hole through. Oh, there you go, right? But like the mouths of the wormhole could be many things, but one of them would be a black hole. It couldn't be a stellar mass black hole because those aren't big enough. We already know that they don't become wormholes, but the what are the other ones called again? Massive, what are they called? Supermassive black holes. The supermassive black holes, which we still don't really know how they're created. We think we know. It's like maybe they were created a long time ago and just like sucked up a bunch of stuff. Maybe they were created, they're usually in the center of galaxies, so maybe they were like created in the center of galaxy where like a bunch of shit's going on because it's like the center, so just like vacuumed in and became huge. We don't really know, but that is an interesting thing because we don't know. So why couldn't some weird enormous thing have blown up, you know? And that was kind of like the frequency starter. That was like the tap on the pitchfork that like that our universe started like vibrating at, right? Wormholes. Okay, so what if wormholes are like a link between two universes that vibrate on the same frequency? So let's say our universe vibrates at 500 hertz. Even though I think it vibrates a little closer to 528, because at 528, let's say it was 7, and I know I sound like a crazy person, okay? I know, whatever, but let's just say that 528 is the 7 pH balanced level of our multiverse. I think we'd be pretty close to 528 because like we definitely have life in our universe. We have a lot of cool stuff. I mean, who's to say? Like, we might be Neanderthals compared to the other sentient beings out there, but we probably are. I mean, we're still like killing each other. We're dumb. But what I'm trying to say is if there was another, let's say we're at 520 hertz, because I want to give us a little more credit than that. Let's say we're at 520 hertz. Then another universe that was at 520 hertz, those were the ones that we could hang out with, right? Maybe those are the ones that when we get, maybe that's dreamland. Maybe that's like, where our spirits go. I don't know. Maybe that's just like we can only communicate with the universes that are in and around our own frequency. I feel like there was something more. Let me check my notes. So much gravity. My notes are hilarious. So much gravity. Got really into charged particles. It's all about the charged particles. And plasma, that's weird stuff. Fourth state of matter, who knew? Yeah, stars explode to maintain the integrity of the universe's frequency. We gotta have that homeostasis going on. Entropy and enthalpy. So like, I don't know. I haven't taken a thermodynamics class. I want to, but I've learned a bit about entropy and enthalpy in just regular science classes, and I think that has something to do with it for sure. Like I know that right now we're reaching a point where like the universe is becoming more entropic or random as the universe becomes less enthalpic. The enthalpy is decreasing. The heat is decreasing. Maybe that has something to do with it too. Maybe once like enthalpy and entropy reaches a zoom, maybe that's what all the universes are doing, and maybe when that happens, like all the our universe, like the little bubbles will pop and we'll just melt into one happy little family. Or we'll all die. I've a terrible sense of humor. So that is what I've been doing all day. I don't claim to be a mad scientist. I just thought it was a kind of a fun idea and ran with it. I feel like I want to add something like normal in here to like balance out all the lunacy that just was spewed out of my mouth. Saltine crackers. Saltine crackers are pretty mundane. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna sign off there. So, you are loved, you are appreciated, and Doctors Without Borders is a great organization, but remember to bring flip-flops. That's all I got, folks.